Welcome back to our channel. 1961 5-cent coin composition. The 1961 nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel mintage. Approximately 120 million were minted value. In general circulated condition, the 1961 nickel is worth about 5 cents, however, if in uncirculated condition or if it has certain mint marks like from the Denver Mint, which is identified by AD, it may be worth a slightly higher value, potentially in the range of 10 to 25 cents or more depending on its condition. 1970 for 5-cent coin. Composition similar to the 1961 nickel. The 1970 for nickel is made from the same metals. Mintage around 153 million were minted in 1974. Value like the 1961 nickel, the typical 1974 nickel in circulated condition is worth its face value of 5 cents uncirculated. Examples or those in mint condition can be worth a little more, usually around 10 to 25 cents depending on the specifics of the coin collectors. Market for both coins, the value can increase significantly if they are in exceptionally good condition, have unique characteristics such as errors, or are part of a desirable collection. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC can fetch significantly higher prices if they receive high grades, MS65 or above. The 5-cent 1974 USA coin holds a fascinating history and is worth in millions to collectors today, such as the coin's design, historical significance, and current value. We're diving into the history of the 1974 USA 5-cent coin known as the Jefferson Nickel. This coin NTD in Denver holds a special place in American numismatic history. Stay tuned as we explore its design, production, and potential value to truly appreciate the 1974 Jefferson Nickel. Let's take a step back and understand the context of the 1970s, as this decade was marked by significant social, cultural, and political changes in America. The year 1974 saw the United States grappling with the aftermath of the Watergate scandal, the energy crisis, and significant shifts in the economy. Amidst these events, the United States Mint continued its tradition of producing coins that reflect the nation's history and values. The United States Mint, established in 1792, has a long history of creating coins that are both functional and artistic. The 1974 Jefferson Nickel was produced at the Denver Mint, known for its meticulous craftsmanship. Now let's take a closer look at the design of the 1974 Jefferson Nickel. The obverse or front of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. This design, created by Felix Schlag, was introduced in 1938. Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor, won a national competition to design the new nickel in 1938. His depiction of Jefferson is both dignified and approachable, capturing the essence of one of America's founding fathers. On the reverse side of the 1974 Jefferson Nickel, we see Manello Jefferson's Virginia home. This iconic image has been a staple on the nickel since Schlag's design was first introduced. Montello, an architectural masterpiece designed by Jefferson himself, symbolizes his contributions to American history and his passion for architecture and innovation. The 1974 Jefferson Nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This alloy gives the coin its distinctive silver color and durability, but not all 1974 nickels are created equal. The condition of the coin plays a significant role in its value. Coins in mint condition, known as uncirculated, are worth much more than those that have been heavily circulated. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to mint state, MS70. A 1974 Jefferson Nickel in mint state condition can be worth significant more to collectors. I've been collecting coins for over 20 years, and the 1974 Jefferson Nickel is a fascinating piece. It's not just about the metal, it's about the history and the stories these coins can tell. Striking errors occur during the minting process and can result in coins that are highly prized by collectors. Double strikes Off-center strikes and deeks are just a few examples of errors that can increase the value of a coin. While these errors are rare, they can turn an ordinary nickel into a valuable collector's item. In recent years, the value of the 1974D Jefferson nickel has increased as more collectors enter the market. A coin that was once just pocket change can now be a valuable asset. Coin auctions and shows are great places to find rare coins and learn more about their value. Collectors often pay top dollar for coins in pristine condition or with unique features. The demand for high-quality coins has never been higher. We've seen 1974D nickels sell for hundreds of dollars depending on their condition and rarity. So how can you determine if your 1974D nickel is worth more than its face value? First, check its condition. Coins that are shiny and free of scratches or wear are more valuable. Next, look for any striking errors or unique features that could make it stand out. If you're unsure, it's always a good idea to consult with a professional coin grader or appraiser. They can provide a detailed assessment and help you understand the true value of your coin. Properly storing and protecting your coins is essential to maintaining their value. Keep them in a cool, dry place and consider using protective holders or cases to prevent damage. By taking these steps, you can ensure that your 1974D Jefferson nickel remains in the best possible condition for years to come. Let's recap what we've learned today. The 1974D Jefferson nickel is a small but significant piece of American history. Its design, featuring Thomas Jefferson and Manello, reflects the nation's pride and heritage. While many of these coins were produced, those in excellent condition or with rare errors can be worth a significant amount. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, the 1974D Jefferson nickel is a fascinating addition to any collection. Did you know that a rare 1974 5-cent coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Let's find out why. In this video, we'll explore the intriguing story behind the 1974 5-cent coin and uncover its potential value in today's market. Many coin collectors and casual finders are unaware of the unique features that can make this coin exceptionally valuable. We'll discuss the history of the 1974 5-cent coin, its minting details, and what specific characteristics collectors are looking for. At this point, we'll reveal the highest recorded sale of a 1974 5-cent coin and what made it so special, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats. To summarize, it's crucial to know what to look for in a 1974 5-cent coin if you want to determine its potential. When considering the value of a 1961 5-cent coin Jefferson nickel, several factors come into play. Mint marks: coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark. Coins minted in Denver have a demint mark. Condition: circulated coins, those that have been used in everyday transactions, generally hold very little value beyond their face value. Uncirculated coins, those in pristine condition, are worth considerably more too. Collector's full steps designation: this is where the steps on the Monticello on the reverse of the coin are very clearly defined. These are highly sought after by collectors and dramatically increase the value of the coin. Proof coins: the U.S. Mint also produced proof coins in 1961, which were specially made for collectors. These tend to be worth more than regular circulation coins. Here's a general overview of the potential value. Circulated coins typically worth around 5 cents to 20 cents. Uncirculated coins can range from a few dollars to much higher depending on the grade. Coins with the full steps designation can reach very high values. Proof coins: these also vary in value based on condition, with higher rate examples being more valuable. 1961 Jefferson nickel. All right, primarily the Denver minted coin, in which all of a sudden people are paying through the nose for a specific 1961 Jefferson nickel. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the extremes of this coin, as far as why a higher graded coin only sold for $50 while another example sold for $13,000. And here's the kicker: that one graded out 2 points lower through a third-party grading company. But before we go ahead and get started, as always, I'm gonna throw in my little shindig as you Know I'm gonna be doing giveaways all summer long, and you know I do them all throughout the year, so if you want to get in on what is bound to be the hottest ticket and a free silver and swag and gifts and coins and gift cards, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have it there on the bottom right hand part of the screen, and make sure you hit the bell prints to notifications so that way you can get a pop-up on your smartphone device, or you could get an instant notification on your computer when a new upload occurs. From your boy World Coins History PK, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright. The 1961 B. Jefferson nickel is not what I would consider to be a scarce coin. Okay, by all accounts over 129 million pieces were produced by the U.S. Net. Okay, that's important. You guys know a lot of coins were produced, however there's a lot to be said about the overall quality of the coins. Okay, I guess it could be best summed up, right from the beginning, fed from the very beginning stages of when these coins were produced. You have to start with a high-quality product. Unfortunately, the blank planets that we start out with before the strike even occurs, alright, then exactly look too hot in 1961, or even in the early 60s for that matter. A lot of coins in the early 60s were played by this issue, and it all comes as a result of the original planchet quality. Take a look at this coin blank that you see here. This is actually a blank planchet for a Jefferson nickel, okay, and this one is circa 1965. Alright, take a look at all these little arrows. Alright, you'll notice that the coin blank is riddled with tiny little nicks and marks. Okay, this is how the US Mint obtains, though they're blanks. Okay, traditionally these are outsourced with a third-party vendor that provides the blanks to them. Now, if you can imagine these blanks being hauled into the US Mint in great big ballistic boxes or banks or whatever they use for a method of transport, these things get beat up pretty good, alright, so the little nicks and scratches that you see on this blank will translate to the coin when they're struck, alright? So as long as we come to that realization, we'll know exactly what we're looking at here. So I have to Jefferson Nickels. Okay, both are 1961 D coins. Okay, as you can see here on this graphic, we have two coins that sold. One at Great Collections, which is the coin on the left side of the screen. Another one that's sold on heritage auctions on the right side of the screen. Now, it really doesn't matter where it's sold. Okay, one or the other could be sold at the same venue, and it would command around the same type of money. Alright, that's how deep and wide this market is for some of those scarce Jefferson Nickels. Okay, but not all of them are scarce. We're going to be looking at coins that exhibit the best, strongest strikes, and it's also going to exhibit and exemplify what I would consider be great eye appeal. Alright, but sometimes there's also one other X factor, alright, and it's all an actual kind of like new details of the coin in Jefferson nickel collecting. Okay, there's a kind of like secret kind of pact of people that collect these coins on the merit of strike. All right, what do I mean by that? The stronger the strike, the more details that pop right off the coin, and graders will grade them in such a way that they're gonna make them extremely valuable. So here is a double image, okay, of the same points. Okay, you have the Great Collections coin on the left, and you have the one on the right. Alright, so when we're talking about this coin, the Great Collections once sold for nearly $13,000 back in June of 2018, whereas the Heritage point out piece on the right, which kind of looks a little bit better, we just saw General Observation sold for $51 in November of 2017. Again, the time of year really doesn't play a factor, and you know how much these coins sell for, because they will still sell for the kind of money that it's sold for respectively on each piece. So the main thing that differentiates both coins is what they call full strike or full steps. Alright, so the coin on the left, the one that sold for $13, was graded PCGS Mint State 64 FS. The FS stands for full steps. Alright, so when you have these full steps, you'll have a full strike of those steps on the reverse of the coin under Monticello. Alright, it's that middle set of steps. If you took a look at both images of each coin, you'll notice that one has a little bit more squared, chiseled look to those steps, whereas the coin on the right, the Heritage Auctions example, has kind of a really worn down kind of rounded look. Right with that rounded kind of die where appearance you lose the details of those steps. There are 6 lines that go across on these steps in MOP-CEL. Alright, so as long as a grader is able to discern at least 5 full steps or more, alright? There is a little bit of deviation in there. They will grade it with an FS designation on that slot label, and that's where you get a lot of the value, the coins. So how much are we talking about in terms of how rare one is to the other? Well, the heritage coin that has no full steps but is undoubtedly a higher grade, that one is a mint State 66. Also through PCGS it has a little bit better appeal. You can see a little bit more luster. The fields appear to be a little bit more cleaner than the other mint State 60 for full steps. That's sold for $13,000 in the PCGS census, and by the way, all this information can be found on PCGS.com. The non-full steps coins that were graded by that grading company, there were a total of 885 in all grades, and most of them are mid-state. Okay, I didn't they didn't put any XF or O examples in there. Traditionally, you don't want to grade coins of that nature. 45 of them graded out in 66, which is what that coin is, 1 in 66 plus and 1 in 67, so the higher you get beyond mint state 66, it's a tougher coin even without the full steps. But is it worth the $13,000? No, it's not, because this is a high luxury rarity with the full steps, that strong strike. So PCGS under census has recorded 5 total coins that they have graded with FS3 and 64, which is the coin that you saw on the left side of the screen, the Great Collections coin. You have 1 in 64 plus and 1 in 65, 5 total out of 229 million coins produced for the 1961 Denver Mint. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why a lower grade at coin with full steps is worth exponentially more money than the other coin with the bad, horrible strike. It's kind of tough to kind of comprehend, because a lot of coin collectors that don't get into the deep down kind of nitty-gritty information regarding the actual appearance of a coin and strike designation, what will kind of figure, the higher the numerical grade that perceives quality, but sometimes that doesn't always ring true with all of the different types of coin types. Alright, another such series that I would say is highly closer identifiable to Jefferson Nickels in terms of strike are Mercury dimes. Alright, they have to full split bands. Franklin half dollars, they have full bail lines. If they have these strike designations, they are worth many times more than your average bear. Yeah, kind of. So when you're out looking for nickels, I want you to keep in mind, it's not just about what the luster looks like or how clean the coin looks. If it has a strong strike, and generally you're gonna have to get under a magnifier to know the difference, and a good magnifier makes all the difference in the world. It takes some practice to get used to take a look at every single Jefferson nickel and finding those points with full steps. Now there's a reason why I threw up an image of a blank at the very beginning of the video. You guys remember that those little planchette marks actually transfer onto a already struck coin. Some of you're gonna question, well, that 1965 DAD 1961, that graded out mid-state 64 with full steps doesn't look quite full steps. Here's a thing, CGS and NGC kind of grade on a curve based off of these planchette nicks, as opposed to an actual hit on those stairs. That's as a result of postman damage, stuff that occurs after the man. Those tiny little plancha marks at that you see at the very bottom of the steps make all the difference in the world in determining if this coin gets a great kick by these third-party graders. So they will grade a little bit on a curve depending on how rare the coin is with a full strike designation or product, perhaps like a super high numerical grade. But anyways, I wanted to show you guys the difference between the two. Again, you're gonna have probably go back closer to the beginning of the video where you see the comparison images of those two coins. They kind of use it as a photo guide as you're going through your nickels. It did this, I tell you, ladies, the gentleman, has been a great resource over the years. I have many images where I have various combinations. I would have a mid-state 65 and a 68 on one image, and that way, when you look at it with your eyes, you could get used to exactly what you're seeing, and then you know that'll turn your eyes to be as experienced and that knowledgeable like those graders that take a look at these coins on a daily basis. So I want to thank everyone for joining in on this great episode where we're comparing the same date, Jefferson Nickels 61D. Because if you're able to master this craft, you can actually make some pretty good money, sending coins off to graders and then subsequently selling them. Okay, it takes a little bit of skill they can be. Thanks for watching my videos, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.